I was having a bit of trouble figuring out what I wanted this video to be, and then I was like, it hit me like a lightning bolt. Burnout. No matter your creative field, you've probably experienced burnout at some point. I know I certainly have, especially when I was in college, because in college I was literally taking nothing but art classes, and I found myself burned out about it within a year. It was difficult. So the question is, how do you combat burnout? The signs vary from person to person, so you can sort of tell if you're experiencing a burnout, but it's like after you reach that point, how do you get over it? The brain of a creative is unique. No matter what creative field you're in, you basically have that one little thing of hyperfixation, and you have to make sure that you don't hyperfixate on any given project or any given medium. And I was thinking about this topic, and it's like, I wonder, are there other hobbies that you can use that are still creative fields, but that will give your brain a break from your usual field of creative liberty? And actually, there is. This is Kathleen Lyons here at the Magic Library, and today we're going to be talking about 5 creative hobbies that will give your brain a break. I'm going back to my usual format of videos here for a little while, just so that I can just, talk about some of the stuff that I'm doing and also not have to worry about what dead space I need to edit. But this topic is very, very important to me because it's stuff I wish I knew when I was in college. When I went to Montevallo, I was literally taking nothing but art classes because I had taken all of my general studies at a community college in my hometown. Let's just say that while that is smart financially, it is not necessarily smart creatively. So what are 5 creative hobbies that you can do to basically give your break a brain and not be barreling towards burnout? Quick side note that alliteration was not intended, but I'm going to stand by it. Well, throughout the video, I'm going to be talking about 5 creative hobbies that have helped me. It sort of helped activate a different part of my creative brain and also give that a little creative spark a break so it can rekindle and turn into a flame again. And also all of these are actually good ways to get inspiration for characters and for story, because you never really stop thinking about your creative endeavors. They're always going on in the back of your brain. But this gives you a chance to see things through from a new perspective. So here are the 5 creative hobbies. Hobby number 1 is video games. I don't really advertise it a whole lot, but I love, love, love video games, whether it's watching playthroughs, whether it's playing something with friends, or even just going on my Nintendo Switch and going to basically a solo game. I love playing video games, especially ones on my phone where I can always have it on hand. And I've actually gotten back into playing video games on Steam with my friends. We've not done it for the past 2 Sundays because I have been absolutely swamped, and also yesterday was sort of just a me day to help myself recharge and recalibrate. Video games I definitely think are a creative hobby that it sort of gives your brain the creative problem aspect, and it's how do you solve that problem? So I highly recommend it. Find a game on your phone or your console of choice and just let your brain have a break. Let your brain just recharge and get you and basically rejuvenate itself. Hobby number 2 is baking. As a creative, a problem that we sometimes face is that we'll get so wrapped up in a project that sometimes we forget to eat or even get a snack or get some water, and that's not necessarily healthy. But this hobby has definitely helped me to try new things and also basically just put my mind in the perspective of what if my character tried this. So baking and cooking are 2 things that I highly recommend. If you have a recipe that you want to try, take a break and give it a shot. I'll give you a perfect example. When I was in college and everything, I had the very, very sudden brainworm that I wanted to try gyoza dumplings. And anyone who knows me now knows that that is a dish that I always swear by because of how I did it. I basically mastered the art of folding dumplings in like 2 days because I was so interested in learning about it. So I did that, and then I've tweaked the recipe over time. So now it is basically a time for me to basically recharge and to, of course, try new things and add new things to my cooking repertoire. And on the side of baking, I actually learned how to make limbas bread because I was going through a Lord of the Rings stint earlier this year, and I was actually wanting to bring limbas bread for when I met Sean Astin, who played Samwise Gamgee in the Lord of the Rings trilogy. I did not get a chance to bring it to him. I was very, very sad. But yeah, it was a good snack and everything, and it was actually very, very filling with how I made it. So I very much like it. It's a very interesting little thing to do. This third one here is an interchangeable one. Number 3, drawing or painting. I say these are interchangeable for a reason. Whether you are a writer wanting to try out a new medium or you're an artist wanting to try out a new medium, these two are interchangeable because they're actually so very closely tied together. If you have ever gotten a blind date with a book box or a package or anything, you'll notice that some of the artists include prints, they'll include stickers and bookmarks, usually associated with that book that you're doing, especially if you buy it directly from the author, like I'm doing right now. Art is a good way to give your words a more visual medium, and the same can be said for the inverse of that. Words can be a good way for you to learn about description, especially when you're describing characters or scenes that you've drawn. I'm actually in the middle of sort of combining writing and artwork because I have a new project that I'm working on. I've already posted it a little bit on social media and everything, and I'll get to it later. It won't be out for a while. I'm just trying to drum up interest, but it's like I really want to go back to my roots of what got me into art and start making comics. I actually used to make these in high school and everything when I was really obsessed with Loki. I would actually take memes and do Loki and Thor and just these very weird situations. My friend can actually attest to this. So if you are an artist at all, or if you have doodled every once in a while, take a break and do some doodles and everything. I mean, do some introspection. Draw something that you've always wanted to try to draw, or draw even characters from your book and everything, or from your story. It's very, very liberating to see them come to life on the page in a different medium, and I very much highly recommend it. Tip number 4 is for my hands-on people, sewing or crafting. Speaking from experience, working with your hands and everything is actually a very good way to give your brain a rest because you're focusing on what you're crafting or sewing, and your story idea, if you're having trouble with it because of burnout, you can let it sit in the back of your brain and just let it cook in summer. One summer after coming back from college, I actually started making plushies of my favorite characters from Twisted Wonderland before they actually came out with merch. And actually, I still have a little plush that I made for Leona Kingscholar. He's one of my favorite characters, and also Lion King has a very special place in my heart. So I had a whole lot of fun actually just learning how to make plushies and everything. It looks more like a voodoo doll at this point, but it's something that I learned to make with my hands, and I was just vibing. I was just going for the experience. So model some clay, do some origami. Even if it's just making homemade plushies, or even doing some crochet, just work with your hands, get your brain off of writing words and do something sort of constructive with basically with your chosen medium of sewing or crafting. Hobby number 5 is sort of a controversial one, but I think it's one that every writer needs to do no matter what. It's reading. As a writer, you should always be reading, whether it's something that you've read in the past, whether it's a book that you've always had on your TBR that you've just not gotten to yet. Take a break from your work, turn off the writer part of your brain, and go read. There's actually a reason that I recommend this, and it's something that helps you out sort of subconsciously with your own writing style. Think of your favorite book and that genre and how that author basically tackles it and just like weaves words within that story, within that genre. How do they do that? By reading, you are subconsciously just imagining how these characters are going through this, what they look like in that environment, and you sort of see the effect that this person's words has on you as a reader. And you're able to draw from that experience when you do your own writing. So, a bit of healthy advice and everything. Please, for the love of God, turn off the writer part of your brain and just enjoy the journey of reading a book. This renews the experience for you, considering your own experience with writing, and it also inspires you to keep going and to keep writing your book. So that's all for today, but what is that? What is... Oh. I guess there's technically a sixth hobby you can do? Okay, so I will say this. While formatting, I was going to keep this at just 5. But I also remembered something that sort of got me started into writing, and also something that I sort of enjoy as sort of a guilty pleasure. This creative hobby is a little bit unconventional, but I do sort of stand by it. And that creative hobby is, of course, fanfiction. Fanfiction is, of course, a very important medium, especially when you're writing. I actually got my start writing while doing fanfiction while I was in high school. My friends can attest to this. Every day in school, after I was done with work, I would always pull out my notebook and I would just start writing about these characters that I absolutely loved. Now, a little bit of a disclaimer, and just to show how much of a nerd I was, these were technically self-insert. But this also not only put me in the mind of sort of a character going along for the ride, but it also helped me describe experiences. Without the fanfictions that I wrote in high school, I would not be able to be the writer I am today, because I would be so far behind. So this is still technically writing, but it does give your brain a break from your own story. This is what I call sort of a creative palate cleanser, especially when it comes to writing. Go to a fandom that you like and just make up a scenario and see what the characters do. And also reading fan fiction. It's a good way to help authors and everything see the writing styles of other aspiring authors. But it's also this fun little thing of, let's see what this person does and let's help them out by giving them some encouragement and everything. It's just give fan fiction readers your love and attention, pretty please. In high school, my fan fiction was primarily just for me, because it was a form of escapism for me. But for other people and everything, writing fan fiction is a hobby endeavor, and they don't necessarily do it for the recognition. But as someone who is a writer who has published, I'm pretty sure that when they get that recognition, they are just almost in tears of joy, because it's such an important feeling. So, with this 6th creative hobby and everything, please, 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 for the love of God, go check out some fan fiction. Go write some fan fiction, even if it's just for yourself. Just give that medium a try and go back to your roots a little bit. And that's it for the video. Thanks so much for watching, you guys. If you want to read Luxalia's side of the story, you can check it out in my book, Arborea Lux. The link for that book is in the description below. If you'd like a signed copy as well as some merch, you can go to my online store and check out the book merch boxes. Each box comes with a signed copy of my book, a series of art prints that I've created, as well as 2 bookmarks and a sticker pack. I also have a Printify store where I've created merch with my own designs. You can find the links for those in the description below and in my link tree. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, and ring that bell for notifications about my writing craft and my art videos. This is Kathleen Lyons here at the Magic Library, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye, guys!